I mean, that's
exactly.
according to us, that is fine.
Indeed. So while we sit here opening up our umbrellas with our fine ladies, elegant ladies, let's take a look at the rosters. So we know these teams already, these two teams. They are not alien to us. Azer, Kaifin, Trickmere, Vinxis, Corrales. I mean, these are household names, and what they are good at is basically on a high seeding level, very consistent performance, and very good on picks with tricky technical aspects, and also on hard rock and hidden. More on hidden, sorry, less with hard rock. But still, they are a team where if you look down on them, you can get yourself really messed up before you even knew it. And for the Polish side, Fartovnik is this veteran player who's been with us for, sorry, how long? Do you know, Force? Like,
I at least 3 years.
Yeah, at least 3 years. Yeah, I remember him from 14, and I think he's been with us like for much longer before that. Archimitsu also, and Poland hasn't given us 2 more players for me to talk about, but I'm gonna say like, oh, there we go. So Obufov is also a very old player. So these 3 know the mapping from the day it was born into this modern era. So I'm not talking about like 2008, 2007. But these players know their material and they can perform consistently as well. And you also get newer players come up like Rafis, Rock. Sorry, no, Rock is not very new anymore. But I mean, the entire Polish roster is very old. I'm only talking about relatively. So yeah, it's a very interesting comparison between these two teams when you realize that both sides are pretty good with technical maps. So I'm gonna anticipate them not banning Euclid and actually saving it to be played.
Indeed, and as you said, all these players have their certain strengths and their certain weaknesses, and Poland has so much to choose from. But fun fact, Fartovnik actually did not want to play this year in the OWC. He did plan on not really playing, but he did register in case things go wrong. And things went wrong because some Polish players just weren't able to keep their pants on, which was the reason they weren't able to be picked or eligible. So for
you make it sound like some Polish players got arrested for rapism.
Oh, and it's as bad as you can get for circle clicking, man. You know, circle clicking is serious business. Come on.
Exactly.
Stop screwing around.
The first warm-up pick is going to be from Canada. It's going to be Mazale Party. The 3 gas and a wheel party. It sounds like something that Vinx is named.
Yeah, it sounds like a Canadian pick, I believe. Is it?
Sounds like a Canadian. It is a Canadian pick.
Yeah, I mean, Camille is automatically a Canadian pick, I believe.
Yeah, I mean the entire Canada has a huge respect for Camille and everything he does. So yeah.
Indeed. Just today I learned that one of Camille's songs was Yumeniki, and I was like completely mind blown that it was actually by Camille, because I did not expect this kind of style coming from Camille.
Yeah, I think it's a remix.
Really,
I could be wrong though. I think it's a remix from the game. Yeah.
I was playing that song for so many years, and then it just kind of hits me. I was like, I don't really like that some of the Camille songs, and suddenly I hear that Camille Yumeniki. That's by him.
Yeah. And there's Rafis, who was actually absent last weekend against China, so he's gonna be back and help protect Poland from Canada.
Indeed, Rafis is gonna be one of the backbones on the higher star rating maps. He's really good at them, and he's just insanely good overall. You want him to be in there for most of the maps. I'd say like 99% of the maps. Unless you have a specialized guy in your team who's gonna be like, yeah dude, CS 6.5 is my hometown. That's my hometown, really. Come on, put me in, coach. Well, yeah,
I mean, to be good at CS 6.5, you have to be like extremely agile with hard rock, which really isn't something you can say about a lot of players. I know only a handful of names I can throw out there for this criteria.
Yeah, actually the funny thing is that over the years, kind of the tablet areas changed. Usually people went for full area and stuff like that, but nowadays they go making it a little bit smaller. So it's a little easier to get all these full screen jumps. I mean, completely understood. Some just playing full screen, full area, for example, on full screen jumps is actually bollocks. You do not want to do that if you want to be really consistent and good at them. It's just easy moving less and just having to concentrate more than that. But people who still kept their full areas and stuff are really good at CS 6.5, and it makes it a lot easier. Like Wapofu, for example, is one of those last defenders of the full area, full screen playstyle. At least in the terms of top players in general.
Okay, so we're gonna get started with this first warm-up pick by Canada. It's gonna be Kyphin, Trick Mirror, Azer, and Corrales. Trick Mirror and Azer on Hidden, Corrales on Hard Rock. On the Polish side, Pidgey, Rock, Rafis, and Ubufwolf. All players holding Nomad.
Yeah, and to just remind everyone, this is a warm-up pick, so it doesn't really matter how it's gonna end up being, but it's gonna give you a slight idea how people are feeling. If they're feeling trolly, if they're feeling adventurous, like Corrales with the Hard Rock, and stuff like that. And it is going to be Camellia, Canada's warm-up pick, because this is not a Polish song, so it cannot be by Poland.
Yeah, it's not a Polish song, therefore it's not Poland's pick. Period.
Yeah, it's not a Polish rap song. I have to add the rap to that.
Right, and warm-up maps is a good way for players to really see where they're at for the match, whether they want to pick the first map to be a Hidden, Hard Rock, Double Time, No Mod, Free Mod. This is the time where they decide that. Or they can be like Fire Truck Tarts and just completely pick something really random. And just for the fun of it, which is totally fine also. I mean, it's all WC after all. You want to have fun when also at the same time practice, show your skills.
Indeed, I actually, you can use it strategically sometimes.
Yes,
and
indeed.
It's actually really fun doing so, because once in a tournament, I picked a alternate map which I was able to play really well, and there was an alternate map in the pool, and I couldn't play that one at all. So I picked the warm-up one, messed with this guy's head, and he banned the alternate map, and I was just completely happy.
Oh, that's a very strategic move, I would say, indeed.
Yeah, just giving me the bias of, yeah, this guy can alternate. Sometimes you can't really generalize. Even if you alternate one map properly, you can't really alternate every map. There's so many different styles.
Indeed.
As in the old Val maps, the Scarlet Rose, for example, is a prime style for the really sharp angles and stuff like that. Things really differ a lot from alternating maps, so you can't really just generalize that, yeah, he's good at this map, he has to be good at the other map.
Yeah, and even for alternating, there's like semi-alternating and perfect alternating, which can differ depending on the map you play. And actually, I think there has been a meta going on with some communities where players practice more than one style of playing. Like, for example, single tapping, alternating, and also tap X. Like, Zelur in Japan, for example, is just one of those players who I know is very good at all of the playstyles, and in fact can just change in the middle of the map to a different style to fit to the current pattern on hand, which is very amazing. Like, I've seen him play, and that's just mind-blowing in my opinion.
Indeed, that's just that's when we pretty much practice so much that you can play every single playstyle and use the advantages pretty much exclusively. If it's a space tree map, you're gonna switch from tap X to just tap it at keyboard, because tap Xing a space tree map is pretty much suicide. It's a lot more difficult.
Tap X can be used for streaming if you have comparatively low speed or you're having some issues with RSI, such as. But I don't see it come up often. Tap X is still very much niche compared to other mainstream playstyles.
And sometimes you just want to have that really smooth aim on space streams, because you don't want to stop at 1 second, but you have to stop on tap X, which is kind of why it makes really space streams quite hard.
And in fact, if you see on the screen here, if you notice, we do have a little bit of a 4 square in the rectangle on the right side of each client window. So those basically shows what players are pressing for their playing. And you can tell that some players are pressing 2 keys and while others mostly on 1. And that basically tells you the style they're using, either alternating or single tapping.
Indeed. Also, it's gonna kind of shows you if someone uses mouse only or if you tap access, which is
Yes.
when you see the pink, I think, or purple buttons appear. I never really saw it too often, so seems like I'm a little bit colorblind and my memory is fuzzy. But that's gonna be that. I don't think we do have any tap X or mouse only players in the current match though, so we won't see any of that shenanigan. But for now, we're gonna get into the second warm-up pretty soon. Oh, and it's gonna be a bit jumpy, and I recognize the difficulty name from a mile away. It's gonna be Illumid Horses troll map, and I don't know. I see it being interesting as a warm-up because it is jumpy, which, you know, is a thing with O's. You kind of have to move your cursor and jump around. You know, so I guess it has that going for it. But I believe it might be a little bit close to the Resurrection Spell map. I think that's the closest it can really get to any maps in the map pool, because of the just really long dev stream on 180 VPN. But we'll also see a bunch of triangle, a bunch of squares, a bunch of jumps, 7 stars at the end. It's just quite insane, this map. Maybe getting, you know, showing off a little bit of what these players are capable of. And next to that, perhaps just getting rid of the nerves and getting used to missing a few times on really difficult maps. Sometimes missing is okay, but just completely giving up because you missed is not okay.
Yeah, missing can play a lot into a person's mentality during a tournament. I mean, some people read too much into it, and some people just don't care about it at all. It's not good either way because you don't get a good reflection on your current performance, and you can't gauge your performance for your team. So in my opinion, it's good to just get used to it, like Force said, and see what you can make out of it with the remaining section of the map.
Indeed, your team is definitely gonna thank you, especially, you know, if it looks grim, you're in the break, you see every other player you're seeing except for you. Keep on trying. I mean, who knows if the next node is gonna be a complete team break from the
exactly
enemy team. And then you not playing perhaps properly might give them still the edge. You know, it just might be that close. And no matter what, always try your best, even if things look grim.
Indeed, playing tournaments, confidence is a huge issue, and when you're not being confident about yourselves due to whatever reason, and your team can just tank thanks to you leading to a domino effect. Always believing that we are number one. Always have that mentality going on.
And indeed, I mean, for example, Karalis is definitely gonna believe in himself picking Hardrock on this map, which is commendable at least. He definitely shows some bravery there. I wouldn't really want to play this map on Hardrock.
Maybe he's trying to do what you did to that poor player in the tournament to Team Poland here.
Oh. Yeah, well, we're gonna see a bunch of dev streams.
Oh, actually, very interesting use of space patterns, which is actually what Nova Tours maps is so famous for.
Yeah, it has
of
some
course
interesting...
oh my god, back and forth clockwork jumps.
Yeah, but the ending is pretty much full screen squares all around. That's pretty much the ending. And we have this really long dev stream part of just stream jumps. And what stream jumps are is this is pretty much one stream, so you have to keep on the speed, but you do have to jump just a little bit at the perfect time with your cursor, which is gonna make this quite hard. I mean, if you look at it already, accuracies are dropping, combos are dropping, and
yes,
just a select few players are going to keep their combo and their accuracy up.
Yeah, and stream jump is a skill that every top player has trouble practicing at some point. Basically, it really tests your knowledge of your cursor awareness, and also you're basically keeping up with the rhythm and ability to snap to notes in a very efficient manner. Only a couple of players I can name have gotten the skill down by the book, but others it's still a matter of whether or not they can depend on the RNG.
Indeed, and there are different aspects of O's. And for example, there's aiming, which is just standard jumping, moving your cursor in a consistent beat from point A to point B. And then there's streaming, which is just pretty much tapping at a very fast rate, which is also a skill and something you need to practice a lot. And then there's the accuracy aspect, keeping your metronome, your inner metronome at a certain pace and keeping accuracy properly that way. And pretty much the end game of O's are space streams and stream jumps, which pretty much combine all three aspects. On stream jumps, your timing must be impeccable, because if you just mistime the jump by a little bit, in terms of the timing of when you jump around, you get a lot of 100s and might just even miss your eye. Your aim needs to be on point, because if you miss aim on the stream jump, obviously you're gonna fail, and if you can't stream at all, you can't even try and bother with it.
Oh, so and here it is, the cross-stream jumps everyone is so dreadful of.
Indeed. It even gets worse, but that's pretty much the thing which happens when the Luvators is getting bored and definitely wants to map something.
Luvators, please, even though you're AFK now, you're still giving this ridiculous map for us to suffer over. But yeah, like Force mentioned, this is the kind of map you can only find in the graveyard section, the place where nobody expects to look, but they can be very fun to play when you can get them down. And in fact, I think we got 3 fails on the Canadian side.
Indeed, not to be surprised, one of them being Hard Rock. The other ones just, sometimes it's hard. That's kind of what I mean, that you can, after a certain point of difficulty, players can crumble. Kaifin, for example, had a 96% accuracy until that point, but the ending just pretty much killed him, and that is unfortunate. But thank God we do not have 7.5 star rating patterns in the map pool, so they won't crumble that bad. But let's see how far Team Canada can push their own limit and perform against this Polish team.
Okay, so we are going down with the rolls now. My Hachimitsu, they're rolling a pretty good 81, which is actually, I think, guarantees there. Yeah, they do win. Acer gets a 71, very close to, but not enough.
But those were the 2 warm-ups. Now we're gonna get into the overhead of the match, getting some bans, some picks. And then, well, obviously after the first pick, we're gonna get right into the match.
So Canada bans Hip Song, which is the AR, sorry, the other AR 8 point something pick.
Indeed, 8.8 or 8.7?
7, I think 8.7, and the world domination was AR 9. So yeah, it's fairly reasonable because Canadians are known for having the double time skills.
Indeed, yeah, Poland is really strong at double time, especially that kind of double time, which is specialized in just jumps. Wolf can perform well on it, Raf is especially, and then you have other players like, I believe we could get Rock in there and stuff like that, and you definitely have a powerhouse of a team which can perform on the map.
Yeah, and actually my banned Euclid, which is, I guess, reasonable in a way too, because Euclid is one map that, like, it basically equalizes the playing field. You can be very good and still get shit misses on there all the time.
Indeed, that's just kind of something which can happen. And the Polish team does not want to play the lottery. Or even if it's not really the lottery per se, because they do have just a powerhouse of a team which is going to outperform Canada in general. That's just what we can say in general, because we can't really say that people are going to outperform others all the time. But in general, the Polish team should be stronger on most of the maps. And something like Euclid is still a bit of a more of a lottery play than, for example, I don't know, the Hip Song, for example.
Yeah, and I mean, you want as little uncertainty during a tournament as possible. So when you are a good team and you know you are good, you kind of want to get like the little bits can trip you up out of the way, especially when you're considering a possible opponent like Canada, which is known to really capitalize on the opponent's drops and weaknesses.
All right, and I think the first pick is going to be Saigo.
Saigon boys.
Which means, which is a good pick because this is one of these standard. Well, first, Polish team is really good at hidden. Secondly, this map is just hard in general, which is gonna favor the Polish team quite a lot.
Funny thing, actually, this map name means the last or the end, the final. Basically, that's what the name means, and it's the first to be picked.
Yeah, ironically, yeah, indeed. Ironically, it's the first one to be picked, even if it says it's the last. Unfortunately, map pool selectors, you had one job. Where's the title, Psycho? You have next year to
maybe Poland is trying to say this is the beginning of the end, Canada. You got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. This will be the end for you.
No.
But Canada, let's see how they're going to retaliate, because Hidden is very much in the playing field for Canada, and Azer and Ignite, both very good Hidden players. Where I have good faith in them bringing us some surprises here.
But then you look at the other side, you have Wilchq, who's really good at Hidden only. He can hit really, even lower approaches like approach at 8 and stuff like that. So he's set for this pick. And with Amai Hachimitsu, pretty decent player, I believe. And then on this type of map, he should be pretty okay. Maybe I'm not too sure about his hidden prowess in general, but I do know that he's perfectly capable of seeing this map. But before, obviously you do want to have him in there because he's really good at reading a tournaments in general. And this is a hidden map. That's a great pick. Also, Rafis being in there just because it's Rafis. Rafis has actually shown that he's really good at hidden only in tournaments. That's not something he usually plays in solo, but he does perform really well on those hidden onlys. And that's something he might be underestimated for. Also, his hard rock is also pretty good, because everyone just sees Rafis playing double time.
Yeah, I mean the current top 4, Rafis, Angelsim, Cookiesy, and HVIC, they've been around for a long time, and their experience pretty much stems to all aspects of O's. And it's hard to say that they're only good at one aspect, because you think of them as being this one type of player, double time. That gets their PP. But no, that's not true at all, because these players can play on a lot of different maps, and if you've ever seen them in other tournaments, you will know that they can play maps where you are not expecting them to play well on. Let's just put it that way. And we're going into this final, the final map, but not the first map, the first final. There we go.
And the final first map.
Yeah, we're gonna stop screwing with ourselves here. Actually, I would say all the players on the field has an ability to full combo this, but in a tournament, I'm not sure. We're gonna find out.
Indeed, I would definitely look out for people like Azer and I'd say Ignite. Azer, for example, lately has been stepping up his tournament game quite a lot, from what I've seen. But this map is gonna be really hard and really tough, and it's not just gonna come down to one player. It's gonna come down to the entire team. And the beginning is gonna be a little bit pretty calm so far as it can really get. It will pick up the pace, and the 2 spikes you need to look out for are going to be before the KI time, which is gonna be just the star rating in a nutshell. 1-2 jumps across the screen, pretty much. 1-2 jumps means up, down, left, right. It's pretty much just in a line. No real squares or triangles or anything fancy in there. Just 1-2 jumps, but still hard enough because they're spaced apart quite a lot. Need some mastery of that. Also, it happens 2 times. Once at around 600 combo or 500 combo, and 1 time at around 1000. That's the 2 parts you need to take attention to.
Indeed, and after the jump section, we'll see a change in the map style into a more like a whoop modern style mapping. That's where a lot of technical aspects come in, and the players get tested in a different way. On the Polish side, pretty good. We got 3 full combos still remaining. Still going. Wilchq, Wubofov, and Amai Hachimitsu showing they got the game. Azer on the Canadian side being the only one with a full combo now. He's going to have to keep Canada afloat for his team to get a chance to come back in this the Wubo section.
Indeed, this is actually one of the more underestimated sections of this entire song, because it's not necessarily the highest star rating, but it is definitely one of the most technical ones, with all these spacing changes and just the kick sliders coming in.
Indeed, and you really gotta go back to the reading aspect of things, because the reading is a lot being tested heavily in terms of hidden.
Yeah, and just look at the difference. The Polish team just 3 still FCs. I mean, we might see some misses in the second spike or somewhere along the lines of that with some silly misses, but Team Canada currently holds no real combo except for Karalis, and I don't think that's gonna be enough. The accuracies also show just how comfortable the Polish team is on this kind of map.
Yeah, 99+% across the board. No way that's not practiced.
Yeah, also practice over the entire years of the players, you know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't matter how much you practice one single map. You're still gonna not be able to play it if you just cannot physically play it and follow it properly.
So Poland currently has a 1 million lead over Canada right now. This is looking increasingly in their favor. Actually, no, they got it set in stone already. There's no fail, like the fail easy pattern near the end. So it's pretty much their win, even if they all break now.
Indeed, we do see some breaks by Wolf and Ama Ichimitsu, but which Q is still holding strong, and Raffis is coming back with the early miss. Just the accuracies alone also make a lot of difference. I mean, great performance by them, but Karalis is trying to come from behind with a 1K combo. Unfortunately, he does miss at the end, but you know, that was an uphill battle.
Yeah, he did very good for his team, I would say. And actually, he wouldn't have the chance to bring this score closer. It was already set in stone by the time he started build combo. So yeah, Vilch being the MVP for this round, 1.04 million, getting only 8 100s on this very tricky map. Rafi's on the other side, getting a slider break only, but he held a pretty high accuracy also. In fact, the entire Polish team finished with 99+%, just showing how incredibly comfortable they feel on this pick. It's definitely one of their comfort zone picks.
Indeed, I mean, just look at it. Not even double digits in any kind of aspect. Like no double-digit hundreds. That's just completely amazing. Taking up most of the 300,000 points of 1 million of the Scorby 2. But you know, that was Poland's pick, and I believe that was really well prepared and just really well executed. Now let's see what Canada has in store. I don't think they're done just yet. I don't think they're coming in with no plan and no preparation. I think they've got something up their sleeve, and it might be no more.
Yes, no more.
Yeah, no more is an interesting map as it is quite special. CS2, which means the circle size is 2, which is you know, just as a contrast, CS4 is the standard circle size of maps nowadays. CS 5.2, circle size 5.2 is gonna be the standard circle size if you hard rock, that's circle size 4. So the higher the circle size is, the smaller the circle is. And circle size 2 is actually really big, extremely big. And you are not used to seeing that kind of circle size at all.
Yeah,
so
it's
makes
big,
this map
but
so interesting.
It can be disruptive to your reading in a very, very interesting way.
Indeed, the approach rates, for example, which close in on the circle to give you kind of the timing aspect of it and to kind of show you which circles are to be pressed in what order, pretty much out of the corner of your eyes. That gets like magnified and increased hugely, which might give you the effect of it being a higher approach rate because it's just bigger and that's why it moves more pixels per second. But just because it's bigger, it moves more pixels per second. It's kind of like a trick. When you're not used to it, it can feel off quite a lot. And it does have some really nasty parts with some streams which change spacing, or change direction, like really on really sharp angles. And Hard Rock actually, you know, thanks for, I think you pointed it out there, Finn, is CS 2.6.
Yeah, CS 2.6.
And that is important to note. So even if you hard rock it, it's not gonna make too much of a difference, bringing it back to the old circle sizes.
In fact, hard rock in here would be argued by some players as making the map a little bit easier because it makes it smaller, when they're just not used to seeing such huge blob of circle on their screen. In fact, I think that's also why we're seeing like more hard rocks than usual on this pick, where we get Corrales, Fartopnik, and Rafis all on hard rock, as opposed to actually no more mods also, as opposed to maybe just 2 or 3 mods in other picks. Mix is riding Holy. He's definitely surprised by what he's seen.
Also to note, hard rock has a higher score multiplier than hidden, so they are gonna be advantaged if they do have the same accuracy as hidden players.
Yes, in score v2. And also noteworthy is that this map is mapped by Pichifat. So his style is known to be one that contradicts some expectations and can really use some interesting rhythms to his own advantage.
Indeed, and he's one of the mappers who likes to experiment a lot, and as you can see, this is quite the experiment.
In fact, he has a very good series on YouTube. You guys should go check out if you want to know more about the mapping aspect of O's. And actually, as I spoke there, Kaifen, Corrales, 2 remaining full combos on the Canadian side both dropped. Meanwhile, Vilchk and Wolf will hold theirs for the Poland. And it's going to look increasingly becoming in favor of Poland, since the lead, which was about 100,000 in less than 30 seconds ago, is now quickly expanding to over 600,000.
And a Witch Q and Wolf holding phenomenal combos currently.
Yeah, this is just one pick that just swung in the Polish favor way too fast. And the map is coming to an end. And Poland is going to walk away with the 900,000 points lead. Not 9 million. That'll be ridiculous.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is kind of to be expected. Let's see if Canada still has something in store. If not, then this is going to look really bleak for them.
Yeah, in fact, a 6-0 clean sweep, which is something we've been trying to avoid like a taboo, is very much on the table right now, with Poland looking the way they play today. I think Poland is arguably the strongest performing team right now in the top seeders today.
Yeah, I mean, just those 2 last maps were absolutely phenomenal. I think they could have beaten any team today if they were playing.
They probably have thought like, why don't we just get pitted with China or USA today and just call it like the finals?
Indeed, let's call it a day and be able to at least throw one of those teams out of the tournament,
so they don't have to
face them again.
Don't they wish 2013 tournament system was back in place?
Indeed. Well, then they would have not been in there anymore. That's the thing, though.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly, you're right. Okay, so Legend is going to get picked. This is also a fairly new map, actually ranked somewhat recently as well. I remember downloading this only like a month ago.
Indeed, this is also one of the more newly ranked maps. You can definitely feel it in the star rating, as the jumps are really spaced out and not too hard to read. It does have some streams, 205 BPM, not too fast, but not too slow either. It's mostly a focus on jumps alone and just keeping accuracy. The ending has the most brutal jumps out of them all, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this map. It does have a few tricky patterns in the beginning, as in 1/3 streams, which pretty much is a slower stream but a lot more spacing, is what the mapper opted to go for. And yeah, that's gonna be the map itself. Let's see how well Poland and Canada are gonna perform. I'd still give the edge to Poland, nonetheless, because this is a really difficult pick just in general, just raw difficulty overall. What do you think, Efrian?
I'm still considering the implications of this pick, because Legend is one pick that is kind of tilting for some players we've seen, and seeing them in this matchup is going to give some uncertainties, I'm sure. And I'm looking at this especially for Canada, because Canada is not known to be one to hold consistency on picks that they are edgy about.
Indeed, yeah.
We haven't been too harsh on them, but I think Poland is looking better with this pick, just by default.
Yeah, this is, I can understand. Sometimes it's just when it's not necessarily that Canada is absolutely bad. If they would have played any other team, it would have looked a lot better, but Poland is just, pulling this off. That's the difference. They are absolutely performing, and they do not want to leave any room. This is kind of like the group stage Poland you've seen, which went pretty much 4-0 against everyone and was the only team which did not lose a single map. in the group stage.
Yeah, in fact, you know what? I think after losing to China last weekend, they did some soul searching, and this is a reborn Poland we're seeing today, which is very, very good considering that they've got this momentum now, which is very apparent, and they'll need that for the coming matches if they advance.
Indeed, if Poland is gonna keep on continue performing like this, they are a top 2 team, no sweat.
Or champion even. This may be their year.
Yeah, I mean, this might be their year. They were a little bit unlucky last year. The curse of waking up really early did shoot them in the leg.
I wouldn't say 11 a.m. is all that early because USA played at 8 a.m. today. I gotta give them that.
Look, the USA players are some monsters in terms of dedication, but the Polish team is also monsters in terms of just raw skill.
Actually, wait a second, because on the match right now, only one full combo remains on each team. Vinx is there, okay, he's dropped now, but he was holding in the full combo against Vilchk. And now Acer's back in the driving seat for Canada, but this is looking like it's going to go in Poland's favor regardless, because only about 10% of the map is remaining now.
Indeed, well, that's actually pretty interesting. Which crew, the only FC so far, but then missed again because the ending is the hardest part of the map, so that was to be expected.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about when this map is just so tilting for the top players, even though they can full combo this like 100 times when they practice. Once tournament nerfs kicks in, and those patterns can turn into just like what the F is going on.
Indeed, sometimes it's quite easy to just lose focus over the things. But something to note is which crew and Amai Hachimitsu both are actually mouse players, so that's something to note. Also, mouse drift is a real issue for some maps.
Yeah,
like, there are really certain maps which just do not allow you to have a break and just adjust your mouse for a second, which can make some maps like really hard for some mouse players.
And Canada, they are going in for a straightforward and probably thought beforehand, unthought pick in that manner. Big Brother, the Susumu Hirasawa Kirby mix. This is one map I personally like a lot. So seeing it come up, what about you, Forrest? Because I know you like old maps too.
Come on, this is a Kirby map. What can you really expect? This is being a tournament map pool. First, that's the first thing, and secondly, we've seen this map a few share amount of times in some tournaments. I believe we've both seen. So we know what to expect from this one. CS5, Approach at 8, OD8, a Kirby map. That's pretty much enough said about this.
Yeah, so, and now a Fremont pick also, so you gotta choose your poison, be it AR8 Hidden or CS6.5 Hard Rock. And actually, also on top of that, this is a Kirby Mix, so if you're not so familiar with what Kirby Mix is a series of maps mapped by this mapper called Starrod Kirby 86. He's an OS alumnus, and he has some very interesting patterns all the way back in the 07-08 era, where he basically set the tone for future maps to grow from there. So basically, he was like the hero of mappers for a while, and his maps nowadays is still considered to be a gem in the flow of history.
Indeed, he's pretty much like the DJ Pop, who's famous for having really hard maps for nowadays standards. Mm-hmm. But not necessarily as hard as DJ Pop, for example, has them, because they're really it's a similar style in terms of having the distance snap in there and pretty much the same kind of thing. But I really like his just use of slider velocity was really interesting, and just look, the song choice was also something which kind of made the difference between all the mappers.
Right, and for this actually we'll see Poland having 4 mods combined against Canada's 2. Acer Hidden and Corrales Hard Rock against Vilchk Hard Rock Hidden with Amai Hachimitsu.
Indeed, and Hard Rock is something to look out for. It does make the circle size a lot smaller, but it does make it more manageable in terms of reading. I'm actually surprised at which crew is going for the Hidden Hard Rock rather than just him, because he's really good at Approach 8, so I think he would have managed it. But if he feels more confident on Hidden Hard Rock, well, he's a Hidden Hard Rock player, so it's gonna be his call.
Alright, and as we're going through the first quarter of the map, we do see that breaks are coming in, very expected. Actually, across the field, only 5 combos remaining. It would appear like that Spader has missed again. He's not really making the best use of this map. I think he could have done a lot better actually with what I've observed from him.
Well, there's still the ending, which is going to be the important part here.
Oh yes, the ending. Yeah, actually, didn't Team US? No, Team USA did fail on the one map, which costed them a point, but that's not this
that
map.
was Oceanius, the...
oh yes, Okeanos.
The Fremont one. Also another Fremont one, which is also
another
interesting to see. But yeah, the ending is really hard because you suddenly have really spaced triplets and streams, and if you miss there, you're pretty much dead because the HP drain is really high, and you do not have a chance to revive after that.
And so I'm looking at my end, Village, thinking, are they taking too much of a risk here by going double mod? Or maybe they've got something planned for the end. Because if you play this map, you cannot not take attention to the end.
Indeed, yeah. I think Amai Hachimitsu is gonna be fine. As well as Rich Crew, I do think they are capable of pulling this off. Especially Rich Crew currently, I mean, just look at him go. Despite all odds, he's the only FC left and on 99% accuracy on hidden hard rock. If he can keep an FC on 99% accuracy, I will be severely impressed. But I think he's gonna drop combo or accuracy at the end.
Corollas does drop his full combo, which means Canada now has to depend completely on Polish players having a fail. And here we go into the final section, ladies and gentlemen. Let's wait and behold.
Some sliders to ease them in, but then the space triplets come in.
And here comes a little bit of tricky streams, or the space singles. Oh, yes, breaks are happening everywhere, but Village holding the full combo to the very end. Oh my god.
Is he doing? He's absolutely doing this.
He's absolutely. Oh my god. Oh wow, a full combo on top of that 6-100s only hidden hard rock or Kirby mix in a tournament, ladies and gentlemen. This is Village, the star player of Poland for this map. I am so stunned by this.
This is Poland, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Also, sorry, Wolf 99.4%. Very impressive as well. I am so sorry, Wolf. I am so sorry for just neglecting you there.
But also something to note, Amai Hachimitsu actually getting the second highest points, even though he did use hidden hard rock. He might have been a sacrificial lamp, but it seems like it worked out pretty well. I mean, that was a good pick by them.
Definitely.
And on the other side, you do see Aza trying his best with the hidden only performance. It is definitely really hard on hidden only. You've still got that reading aspect. And Kaifin also tried his best. Didn't get close though to Witch Q's absolutely phenomenal score, but who can really blame him? That's really hard. That was absolutely phenomenal by him.
Yeah, Corollas did great as well. I mean, he basically was the reason that Canada didn't get like a huger lead by Poland, because that combo till the very end before he dropped on the hard section, that was the reason that Canada kept afloat.
Indeed, Canada is definitely trying. Let's not take anything away from the performance, but Poland currently is performing just out of their minds.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Poland, you can already feel like a different vibe coming from them as opposed to, let's say, China or USA today, where both teams did to their expectations, but they were very uncertain on certain picks. But Poland, no, they were just going in for the picks that they knew they were going to do well on, and they performed to the way they were expecting them to. So that was the key of their success we're witnessing today, right now.
Alright, and the next pick is going to be Liqua. Would you be so kind to pronounce this one?
Okay.
I believe you're more qualified to do so.
Alright, I'm gonna try my best. Yotogi Badashi no Kamikakushi.
That actually sounded really well done. Well done.
Thank you. I try my best. I spent all my attention on the weep stuff rather than practicing my old skill, which is why I'm so low ranked right now.
But at least we have you. At least we can take advantage of your skills during commentary, because I don't think we have no one as good as you in terms of pronouncing all these names.
Oh, if there's like a score for pronouncing Japanese in O's, I think I got like a 97% full combo on hidden hard rock with that pronunciation.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean that definitely that's a good comparison. So looking back at the map, like what is this map about, Efren? Would you be so kind to tell us?
Oh, okay. Actually, I was trying to play this map yesterday, so I knew about it. Actually, so I can talk about it. This is very stream heavy,
perfect.
very high speed, high BPM, very short though. So only about like 1 minute 48 seconds. So if you can maintain your concentration for that duration and your speed as well, you got it settled in stone. And it's not really a question about accuracy because it streams. If you get it nailed down, you got it. Period. And we're going in to see how the Polish players handle their own pick. And actually, I think you'll be more qualified talking about this, Force. I think you would have more experience on maps like this.
I never really saw it, except I looked at it obviously for the tournament, but I'm not really too experienced on these kind of maps. I don't really play them too often, but it definitely, you can pretty much compare it to having a 160 BPM double time song, right?
160 BPM double time.
Pretty much.
Yes,
I mean,
the
patterns are really easy actually to read. There are some tricky things here and there, but the spacing is consistent. The streams are short enough, the bursts, so it kind of feels like a 240 BPM, like just a 160 BPM double time map, not like a TV size one.
Yeah, it does give you that feeling, but it can be very wrong if you assume it to be a mirror map like that.
Indeed.
Because this map has some places where it can trip you up, yes. But the way the players handle this map so far, I don't think it's going to be a problem to them. It's more like a problem to me only because I'm so new.
And well, thankfully the players are a little bit better than you at the game, Efren, so we're going to see an exciting match.
Yeah, we know it's true, which is the reason I'm hoping at least.
It's alright for all these players. It doesn't matter how badly you perform, as long as you perform better than Efren in your case.
Yeah, but it's talking about performing better than everyone. Right now, across the board, we do have Ignite with the full combo on the Canadian side, and actually Rock just dropped there, but PG and Rafis were holding good combos, which PG just dropped also. Oh my god. So one full combo remaining on each side, 300,000 in gap. Not sure if Canada can bring this back.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
It is actually the closest they have gotten.
Yeah, it's very close.
Ignite currently. They are trying their best, and they're trying to close the gap.
Oh, and this Rafis with a break, but it's too late in the game. No, it's not gonna matter.
200,000 points? 100,000 points? Is it? No, the spin is not enough.
Not enough. So close though. I mean, like, Azer probably broke like a little more than he should, but aside from that, everything else was looking like it could be in Canada's favor. But then Poland just held on for a little bit too long for that to happen.
Indeed, some unfortunate breaks by Azer, only slider breaks getting in there, so the streams weren't too much of a problem, but rather the sliders. Kind of happens, but they are getting closer. Perhaps the next point might be theirs.
Ignite, it seems like he's fed up by his team now. He wants to go to the other side. Come on, Ignite! All right, for the potential final pick of Canada's for this match, we have Cyber Thunder Cider.
All right, interesting map in this case. It is one of the older maps, which I would say is preferred to be alternated because it is 145 BPM or alternatively 290 BPM single taps. So that is gonna be the theme of this map. It's gonna be the alternate map / high BPM single tap pick with approach rate 9.0, so it is an older map, so there are no decimal approach rates. And that kind of BPM does give you quite a high node density, so your reading game needs to be on top. Plus, the map is sometimes, like, it is consistently difficult throughout the map, unlike Scarlet Rose, for example, we saw in the other stages of the tournament, where you had like this spike at the end. This one is consistently hard throughout the entire map, except that there are some patterns just snuck in there from time to time, like some kind of Easter bunny hiding his egg, like, oh, I want to put one there at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end. Just suddenly I don't know, star of just the 145 BPM stream, which is really hard to hit. And that's gonna kill your combo if you're not paying attention. So we can mostly see either low combos or pretty much a full combo.
Actually, I'm kind of curious, is Canada going in with this roster? Although these 4 players are good, but I would say that Trick Mirror deserves to be in there because of his no mod and just mastery over the spectrum of maps. On the Polish side, no objections to that. Rafis, Spader, Pidgey, and Wolf, very strong 4-person roster there.
Indeed, yeah. Piggy is actually someone I believe rather new to the roster. At least
Oh
I
yeah,
haven't seen
definitely.
too much of him, but I did see his performances in the alternating maps in the earlier stages of the tournament, and he was playing phenomenally for the Polish team. So putting him in there is a good kind of a good idea. They definitely know their own players' advantages and what they're pretty much just good at.
And also, Vinx is writing "I will FC." I hope that is a promise that will be held to be true.
Well, at least he's not calling it that he's gonna easily FC like Cyclops and then get the worst score in the entire.
Are we still
map.
going back to that? It
Yes,
happened
I'm
a
still
year and a
going
half
back
ago.
to that. That was a memorable moment.
Okay, all right. Excitox, shout out to you for calling out and not performing to expectations.
All right, and I believe Piggy is officially dead. Unless we can.
Oh no! Like in Lord of the Flies.
Unless we can revive him with CPR, but I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he just gets slaughtered and then eaten as bacon or something along the lines of that. But for now, we can see everyone performing pretty decently so far.
Yeah, maybe he's still playing, but we're just not yet receiving his signal, which is very much likely a possibility.
Also, that is quite optimistic thinking because.
Yeah, I mean, I'm having my hopes up, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's a disconnect.
There's a disconnect, so we're gonna abort.
Unless the MP says otherwise and he's still in there. But for now, let's look at all these matches. There's gonna be a rematch if he deceived in the first few seconds of the match. But for now, I mean, just looking at it, Acer, Vinx is kind of in all holding combos. Ignite did miss, but Raffis and Wolf, the only other two guys in the Polish side. Alright, I think that is going. Yeah, that's gonna be a rematch because Piggy never started to play and deceased.
Maybe that's Piggy's way to give Canada a chance to get a point.
Yeah, well, actually, it was looking pretty good for Canada.
Yeah, good guy Piggy.
But good guy Piggy is giving them a chance. But yeah, actually, you know, the admins or the old staff does have the opportunity to just immediately abort a match while in progress. So you might see some chatting going on that people are scared because usually when you're completely that focused on playing, you don't just expect suddenly before you're clicking the next circle to be back in the lobby. You might think, oh lord, what happened? Did the enemy team fail or did like I disconnect? And stuff like that. But so some people might just be like, oh, man, what's going on?
Yeah, a million thoughts can fly across your mind and give you a mini heart attack if you assume the worst.
Indeed. But nonetheless, it is going to be a rematch, so at least 7 of the people did get a bit of a sneak peek into the current map, while Piggy is still cold. And let's see, maybe he can get cooked up for the entire map and then FC it.
And also to know that this map is actually mapped by Tutu Haha, a very old Chinese mapper. And what do we know about Chinese mappers is that they can produce some of the most ridiculous maps.
And the Chinese mappers actually did change a lot in the mapping meta.
Yeah, for example, Hollow Wings, Fanjin, YFBMP, Tutu Haha, Angel Honey. Just to name a few, everyone now gets the idea where I'm going.
Indeed, we've seen so many Chinese mappers just take ideas, spin it around, and make really interesting maps. Alright, and I think this time we're good to go. No Piggy disconnects. Seems like nobody forgot to turn on the stove. It's all okay. Except for Wapufu's really early miss. That is gonna cost him not too much as long as he keeps on holding combo. But if everyone FCs, if there's a 7-way FC, we're gonna have all our eyes on Wolf.
Yeah, Wolf, who has had arguably the highest mastery over old maps. I mean, this is the kind of map that you'd expect him to perform really well on. You know, no pressure, Wolf, but I mean, we do have our hopes up, to be honest. And actually, he's your teammate in Team Arts Crackers for community tournaments. So, what do you have to say about Wolf and Rafis, these two Polish players everyone knows so much about, but from an insider's perspective?
To kind of describe them, it's pretty much unreliable and even more unreliable.
Oh, come on!
I'm just being honest.
Okay.
When you have Wolf in your team, it's pretty hard to get him to show up for a match. Thank God he at least has some kind of priority on the OWC matches, which he is. And he is present, that is a really good point. But then you have Rafis, who I never thought was able to beat Wolf in one thing Wolf was the best at, which is not appearing to matches.
Okay, and actually, Canada was holding the lead for quite a while, but up to that point where everyone just kind of like dropped, Wolf will now be the only one remaining with a full combo, and thanks to that, Poland will slowly but surely climb back to the driving seat again.
Indeed, that was scarily close, but it might still be close if Rafis and Wolf were to break.
No, I think the Canadian team has already fallen apart by this point. They were holding such good momentum up to that point, but something has gone wrong and completely changed the way they read things. And Wolf there dancing with the cursor, showing that he's absolutely enjoying the match right now. He has every reason to. He's full comboing after all, and his teammates just right behind him. Rafis with a recovered 600 plus combo now, and actually holding the highest accuracy on the field right now. On the Polish side, Azer has a 99.35%.
Oh yeah, actually that's something noteworthy. He's a really high accuracy. But I can imagine Wolf being a little bit happy because he does have one of the highest combo, or the highest combo, and he's in the lead, so he's pretty much in the driver's seat. It's all up to him. If he misses, he might try to. It might revert, but I think it's too late. But this is going to be the 6-0 for Poland.
Yeah, that miss in the end by Wolf though. It could be better, but that one star pattern will fire truck up a lot of players. That's like, yeah, not the smartest pattern to have in OWC, in my opinion.
Indeed, but it was a good fight by Canada. There was little they can really do, except Azer getting the highest accuracy in the entire map. At least Canada has that going for them. You know, it's all about taking the smaller wins, right?
Yeah, and I mean, Canada and Poland are pretty much like long-term collaborating partners in OWC Screaming, so they knew each other's weaknesses and strengths by heart, and they probably coming into this knowing the results already. Still, Canada did amazing well to basically put up a show for themselves. I mean, it kind of got out of control near the end, but still, they managed something, which is why I say that I'm proud to be here for my country and supporting the Maple Leaf flag.
Hello.
Oh hi, it's Deadbeat who will be joining us. Deadbeat, what do you have to bring to us at this fine hour?
I mean, it's nearing Christmas, so we might get some presents.
Oh,
I'll take a PS4, thanks.
can I get a ticket to Ostjet?
Hey, you're supposed to give us presents.
No, that's not how this works. You give me presents and I let you stay. That's how this works.
Oh,
so you mean bribing?
No, of course not. It's totally voluntary.
Yeah, oh yeah, I see. I hope this is not gonna get leaked to Reddit, so they see how corrupt the old staff is currently.
Don't even find out. But yeah, hopefully at some point soon we should have a quick recap of the past 6 maps. Not maps, matches. I'm sorry, it's 9 AM here. I'm really tired.
Yeah, same. I've been awake since 6 hours ago, so yeah.
I've been awake since too long ago.
Alright, so what do you have in store for us that week?
I just need to wait for the confirmation that we are going to be swapping over to the next match. Not the next match, man, I really need to sleep after this.
The next section?
Then first recap, which I think is ready to go. Which was a... I think the first match, if I remember correctly, was South Korea versus Taiwan. That's the one. South Korea versus Taiwan.
Indeed, that one was actually a really interesting matchup. As in, I think that was also one of the turning points of where you saw the players kind of struggling in there, and the Korean powerhouse, on the contrary, just kept on holding strong the entire way through. We did see H-Vic trying his best, but it just wasn't enough, giving the 5-2 victory to South Korea.
I was still just incredibly impressed with the 100% on.
Oh yeah, that was impressive.
That was amazing.
Incredible. I mean, the map itself is already just demanding enough, but to also hold your accuracy on such a high-speed map, no way that's not practiced, and no way that's not based on good skill set.
It's also kind of fun that we're getting so far into like these Oz World Cups that we're starting to see like previous winning countries go up against each other at just more than the finals and stuff. Because I don't know how many people know this, but Taiwan actually won the first World Cup.
Yeah, and I don't know many people know about this, but first World Cup is actually held to support the Japanese people after the earthquake emotionally.
It wasn't held for that. That event,
held in the spirit of, I would say. I think that's a better
well,
way.
that event happened at the same time. Like the World Cup had already started by then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but I mean, like, it was. I saw the thread back then, and it had like the headline. So I thought maybe that was like the theme changed over to that afterwards.
Yeah, like they did a memorandum, which was quite cool.
Yeah, which definitely shows the spirit of community here.
Yeah, we raised quite a bit. But going on to the next recap we have was Germany versus the Russian Federation, which was a very close one indeed, if I recall correctly.
Oh yeah, that one. I did talk to some German players afterwards, and they told me they underestimated the Russian guys a little bit. They did not expect it to be that close. So definitely, the Russian Federation has made its impact in that match. Despite the early lead, Germany was able to come back and then win on the tiebreaker, just barely scraping that out. But that was definitely something unexpected, even for the German players.
Yeah, that was a hell of a tiebreaker too.
I think a lot of us really took Russians to be just, we thought too light of them, and they proved us wrong this year. Even though they lost in such a fashion that we can't help but to stand up and pay respect to them by pressing F or take off our caps, whichever way you prefer. So I guess, if anything, we should expect more from them next year, because they showed us that they got potential to grow, and it's very much there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's more so I just underestimated Russia, but I may have just like overestimated Germany. Because I've been used to seeing like a lot of these like really strong dominating German teams, and I'm not sure if this German team has that same like domination vibe to it. But moving on from Germany and Russia, after that we had France versus Finland, I believe it was.
Oh yeah, France versus Finland was also an interesting match, as in it was the first clean sweep in the semifinals now, and that is something you wouldn't really expect, but just looking at the matchup, it makes sense. France got into the lower bracket just barely, and then got matched up against Finland, which is a team which performed phenomenally early on to get this far. But once the harder difficulties are starting to come out, that's kind of the pattern. Some lower seeded teams are a little bit crumbling in terms of the harder map pools than other teams, and this was one of the aspects of this kind of thing. but well played by Finland. They did miss the lure though. That was something unfortunate.
Yeah, I do like how because those two teams did face each other in the group stage, and that was 4-3 in favor of France. I mean, the semi-final match was a completely different match. It was just
Indeed.
France all the way.
Yeah, France showed us that I think they got momentum now. They've also grown a lot since the beginning of OWC. I think they are sticking more together as a team rather than just individual pieces of players being placed here and there. I mean, it's very much expected for them to win against Finland, in my opinion. But for them to win in such a manner, very dominating and clear, decisive, I think it shows that there's more to it than just them playing to their fullest.
Yeah, it was definitely a good match to watch. I mean, Musty is just always fantastic to watch. That dude can play.
Oh yeah, Musty, man. I mean, he's not even playing on his like preferred setup right now, right? He's somewhere.
Yeah, he's out of home at the moment, from what I hear.
Oh my god.
But we do actually have more recaps to move on. This time we do have United States vs China, which was a very good match, especially for a one Rust Belt who got a very impressive double ace on Cyber Thunder Cider.
Yeah, it's a tongue twister.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty good match. I really wanted that to go to tiebreaker though, but
yeah, same. I think the tiebreaker would have ended up being a US win also, but them taking the win 6-4 is just as impressive for China.
Oh yeah, it was still a really good match. I mean, I don't think it quite lives up to the hype levels of the grand final match that the two teams had last year, but it was still definitely a really good watch.
Yeah, but I have something to add here because, I mean, this pairing is pretty much like one of the most hyped up OWC pairings for competition for a lot of people, and USA being the last year's champion, China being the second to come, and it's hard to say that this is in some way like completely indicative of their current performance because, like I said, neither team was in their prime time slot, and that China was obviously falling apart by the time they got to the third exchange, which is the 6 points combined. And I also think that, you know, well, afterwards when the match had concluded, in their Discord, they were showing like a lot of basically just soul searching, finding out what's going on because they were not expecting to lose to USA in some picks. And I think we'll see a reborn China very soon. And USA, while having moved on, has to really watch out for Korea because they were showing some signs of weakness today as well.
Indeed, and it was something interesting. But China still has a chance and can advance, and there might be a rematch coming up, which, you know, might be a kind of rematch as last year. So let's see if we can actually get to that point.
Yeah, and also that right now I think the overall score over the past 2 years would be USA taking 3 wins over China with 1 win.
Anyway, with that, we'll actually quickly go on to the next recap because we've still got a few more to get through. So this time we had the United Kingdom vs Brazil, which was actually another clean 6-0 sweep. This was a very surprising one, though, I have to say. I did not expect this to be a 6-0.
Yeah, same. This was one that surprised all of us.
I think someone is actually calling you because there's some interferences from the phone. But
Ring.
but the United Kingdom is a team on paper which looks really good. And you have Bahamet, who I can from personal experience say he's a really versatile player. He can perform on a lot of things, and it's just a good player all around and consistent one. And you have Bubbleman, who also has shown so much promise over the community tournaments. And then Doomsday, obviously being Doomsday, and then all the new faces of the UK, which is all these high-ranked players who have the specialized DET or hidden. And on paper, they look really strong. Pretty much, you can compare them almost to France, but they just didn't really perform that well previously. But now they definitely have showed up. But in my opinion, I think Brazil underperformed just a little bit.
I think they definitely did. I mean, I expected a lot more from players such as Malcese. I mean, in previous rounds, he was a monster, but he just didn't perform as well this weekend, and it definitely hurt quite a lot.
could be that he was not feeling well, or that the map pool was getting a little bit out of control for him. But either way, I think it shouldn't take away from how great of a player he is, and we can expect more coming from him in the future.
Well, I'll have to wait till next year because that was them done for the World Cup this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's always future for these players. It's not like they'll be gone forever.
That is true, but we do have one more recap to go to, and that was our last match, Poland versus Canada, which was the third sweep of today.
So we got three clean sweeps already.
It's kind of scary that half of today's matches ended up as a clean sweep. That is, it's not good. That being said, there were a few close matches because they did play Yoto Gibanashi, and that was 175k score gap, so that one wasn't too bad.
Indeed, but we saw so many matches which were like 30,000 points in difference, and if 170,000 points is the closest you got to a win, that's actually not that close in the grand scheme of things if you look at other teams and how close they were from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, it's still not exactly a score gap you'd be happy with, but I mean, when Poland's getting like hidden hard rocks with 99.25% of Big Brother, I mean, what can you do?
That was
Poland
just completely ridiculous, in my opinion.
It was mental. I don't even know how he did that.
Look, I would clap right now if I didn't have to use push to talk, which limits my ability to move my hands a little bit, unless I get creative.
Well,
So that's just absolutely phenomenal performance by Wilczku and the rest of the Polish team.
Okay, to put this into perspective, there are only 4 people on the top 50, I think, who have done that.
So this score alone would have placed him, like, I think, in top 10 of the ranking board?
On a third.
But then you need to take into account this is score with 2, and then it might have even looked better, or it's just, in general, a lot harder to act properly.
Yeah, probably like only 400. Because he had like a slider end thanks to the slider 100.
Oh, hold up, that score wouldn't matter anyway. He already has rank 1 on this with a 100% on hidden hard rock.
Okay, so that explains a lot of things.
Dude's a monster, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, before this match, I always thought Wojcika as this Polish player who got up thanks to just farming a lot with PP. But no, he did amazing here today, and I think he really refreshed how I look at him as a player, and I don't think I'll make the same judgment about him as I've done before.
Indeed, Wilczku is always like one of the backbone members of the Polish team. He's good at pretty much everything you can throw him into, except for, like, I don't know, the ref is kind of DT picks, I'd say. But if you give him like hidden, he's gonna perform really, really well. I'd say he's almost on the level of like Senior Pacifica, if you remember that player, Efren.
Oh yeah, I remember him as well.
Well, he's no longer with us because he's now in the army, but his spirit lives on.
Indeed, in Wilczku, and he is never showing up.
So I do actually think that is all the time we have for today, as we have been streaming for quite a while now, and I'm sure a lot of us would like to end up here. So we will be back tomorrow with France vs Germany at 1600 UTC. Following that, we will have Poland versus the United Kingdom at 1730 UTC, and then we will have the final map pool showcase for the Oswald Cup 2016.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but I've heard a lot of interesting things said about it that I think the players would be eager to find out as well.
It's gonna be so fun. Like, I'm making sure I stick around just so I can watch Twitch chat, just like cry. I'm gonna enjoy this. Yeah, Locktap's agreeing with me.
Yeah,
it's okay, Twitch. I'll be sure to punch him in the face for you guys.
I really like the word interesting, because you can say something is pretty weird without insulting it. Like,
yeah,
interesting maps and interesting.
And here's the thing: I didn't say interesting for her.
but
that also plays a huge factor in this.
Oh Lord. Well, I'm gonna get surprised tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah. As a final thing, don't forget, guys, if you do want to support any of these teams that are still remaining, you are free to do so. You can head over to the Off Store and pick up a banner. Banners are about $2.50 each, and they just look really awesome.
I'll have to
super
get
awesome.
back on the Canadian players for ruining my investment on them.
I mean, you could get another one.
Can I?
Yeah, if you buy a banner and then you buy another banner, the second banner replaces the first banner.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's always time for me to jump on the American hype train.
Yep, there's always time for you to change your mind.
Okay, alright. And actually, before we finish off, just a huge thanks to all the Twitch viewers out there who came out here today, because I knew we had some like awkward time slots here and there, and many of us had to sacrifice our sleep. So thanks a lot for supporting us with the stream, and we really appreciate that. So we hope to see you guys back here tomorrow with the 2 remaining matches.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for enjoying the matches, and we will see you tomorrow for France vs Germany.
Woohoo!
See you tomorrow.